The Chief Technologist for MiRealSource. This is Lisa Harris. She's one of our agent instructors. You may have seen her before. You may have seen me before if you've attended the previous classes. This is what I call, this class is the last chance. That's it. We'll be out here for other classes, but they're going to be about that content. If you have a question, concerns, issues, stuff like that, those classes are going to be concerned with new products like Cloud CMA, all of that. So what we want to focus on today is any issues that you're having. One thing that we didn't do in the previous classes was show you listing entry. So you may have noticed that there's a number of other fields. One thing I want to alert you on is if you go under MLS Docs, and you're not going to see it like that. You might want to assume Kim's identity. I think it might make it better.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Spell her last name.
Thompson?
It's with a P, right?
Yep.
One P.
Yep. Go to the second screen. And
This one?
Is
Or this one? No, this one.
that one. Yep. Okay. What I want to show, yes.
the market monitor automatic? Is it a default?
The default is a day back, day forward, depending on the.
Because on mine I have no new, no expired, no price change, no zero.
Well, you probably have it filtered down to a
But
specific
I didn't
area.
have it filled down. If something changed, I would have lost all that info.
Click on the sprocket and make sure you cleared everything out of there.
Yeah, if you click on that little gear,
Yep.
the gear will take you to where you can make adjustments. It's right up here, this little widget.
Yep.
You click on that, you'll see if there's anything filled out. If it's all empty, then you're good. But
Yeah, you can
if
see
it's
that's
filled out-
Genesee County,
So that's all she
number
has.
25. So yeah, just verify that that's clear. Go back to MLS Docs
I put 46 in there.
and go under conversion notes. Okay, this guide, this is called the conversion guide, and it's under, you'll see the conversion notes.
No, that's what you can see.
And it really talks about the changes that have occurred. So when you touch a listing now, you're going to get hit with these new fields. So, and you'll notice the compensation fields, SA, BA, NA, SA being sub-agent, or I think maybe you called it maybe the listing agent, I don't know, or selling agent or whatever. But the state calls it sub-agent, so we call it sub-agent. Buyer's agent, BA, and then non-agent, or non-agency, which is equivalent to like a transaction coordinator. So I just want you to be aware that those differences exist with the compensation. Now what we got from you were non-standard values. We require a yes-no for at least one of those. You have to offer some form of cooperation, and then at that point we can fill in the values. Assessments, cross streets, below grade square footage finished. Some of these we may have been able to backfill, but we did our best, and you'll see the tax years and so on. So, if you've already entered if a listing came over and you haven't altered it or touched it or anything, then that listing, you're going to get hit with these errors, and that's okay. Just go through it. Any new listings, I'm going to go through that shortly, just how it works. We're going to go through the data sheet. Now I'm just going to kind of feel my way through this. Like I said, this is the last chance event for question and answer. If you got any questions, just kind of raise your hand and we can kind of go off on that topic. One thing to note is, and one thing actually while this is up here, the corrections button. I cannot stress that enough. If you see a problem with the listing, report it. It's an anonymous function. You just hit that corrections button and it will anonymously.
I'm not sure where it's at, just in case I don't see that.
Yeah. So when you're viewing a single page listing, you can actually, right above that, click on the corrections button right at the top. And what it does is it will report to your board whatever you say. It doesn't, nothing's reported back to the listing agent. And the whole point of this is it's self-policing. You know, if there's an error in the bedroom fields, you know, an error in the baths. One difference in our system is the bathrooms are, we allow you to put in the number of baths above grade and below grade. So just bear that in mind.
So that corrections button, when you hit that button, do you make the correction or does somebody?
No,
else make the
it's a
correction?
request by you.
It's an email.
In other words, you're issuing a complaint to the board about that listing.
Okay.
You actually
So
get
then
a
who would make the correction then? Is it the board that
The
makes
board.
the correction? Okay.
Yeah, and then the board would have to take action.
Okay.
So in other words, you're saying, look, this is ridiculous, it's not that square footage, or that's not really a bedroom in the basement, it's just a room in the basement, you know, that's the kind of things that we see. The agent's sign is in the photo.
Or maybe it was
Should
just
I go on?
maybe it was just an innocent mistake, and you're trying
And
to
it
help.
could be.
Right.
Doesn't
it
have
could
to be
be.
the negative side.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Not all agents are nefarious, just most of them. No, I'm joking. I'm not.
No, you're not.
Troublemaker.
So, yeah, so I can't encourage that enough. It's about keeping your data accurate because whatever you report now could be a comparable later. So that's really where I like agents to keep their head. It's, you know, I know you really want to close this deal. This is something that you want you want this deal to go through. But you know, remember today's deals are tomorrow's comparables. So it's important that that information is closed accurately and is reported accurately. We do have a 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. support number. Right now, when you call this, it does go to Black Knight. They'll answer any questions that you have about Paragon, if there's any issues or anything that you need to call about. You're welcome to hit the help in the upper right corner as well, and that will pretty much take you to the same location.
So should we call Jason or should we call Dave?
Oh, you could call Jason too. It's just we offer that support number at a conversion, and it's something that we provide. Sometimes the flow of calls might be more than Jason, one guy can handle. So this way, it's just a general purpose number. You could call that. You know, at some point, I mean that's going to be our support line for you. So that will change. Right now, while we're still in this post-conversion time frame, we want to be able to help you, you know, quickly and as efficiently as we can. So that's why we're offering this up. So you're able to do business right then and there. You don't have to wait or anything like that. So that's really the whole motivation behind the support. I don't know what else is on there.
Let me go back to this.
Yeah.
This was just anything to this. This is exporting safe searches
Yeah, I don't.
video.
You know, I see that your previous Paragon is still up. As long as you understand the difference of whether you're in the old one and the new one. I've heard some confusion by some agents that didn't know that you've changed MLS systems. The old one is going to be there, but it's only going to be there till the end of the month. So if you've got contacts came over automatically. Save searches. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to bring over safe searches. This is really it. This is really the only manner. And if you click on that, it actually takes you to a video that shows you,
How to do it.
embarrassingly, how to copy and paste that information into like a document file, and that way you can enter it in. The alternative would be open up both windows and then take those safe searches out of one and enter it into the other. Yeah, unfortunately, yes, that sucks. It really does. But that's just the nature of the beast of converting data.
And that's, I think, covered everything else, right?
Yeah.
Transaction desk.
Well, yeah, I just want to note that, you know, your associated docs are still in Instanet. You know, all your transactions should be there. With those transactions should be any disclosure documents that you will have to upload. Now, the advantage to this is those documents are now associated much more closely with the listing, in that when somebody tries to, or when somebody's making an offer on your property with the transaction button, those documents automatically go into the start of a transaction on a purchase side. Another cool factor is HomeSnap. If you're looking at a property, you'll notice as agents start uploading their documents into HomeSnap, the agents will see the disclosures in HomeSnap as well. So that definitely makes things a lot easier. You're at a showing, you're able to pull it up right on HomeSnap and look at the documents. How many here use HomeSnap?
Learning it.
Okay, I got like 2.5 hands out of that.
Well,
Okay.
I put in MLS Docs, which will show them. I put about
Yeah.
46 handouts so that can
Yeah.
help them with all of that, so.
So yeah, we piled in a bunch of resources into your MLS Docs.
So I should have those.
So if you go under
Here we go.
MLS Docs,
Let me go back.
let's
So
just close the tab,
and then, it's
and you'll
actually-
see right here, that conversion, there's just one file, but you can see Lisa has just piled on all of the documents you could possibly need. What these documents do is they kind of break down Paragon into bite-sized portions that you can easily digest. You know, I just want to search. It's, you know, you're thinking, I'm just going to do this. I got a buyer. I just want to be able to do a search for this, that, the other thing. It's just a simple, I don't need a full class. You just need just kind of a how-to. You can find it in here.
Yeah, I put 46, and they're screenshots. I'm actually trying to download one right now for you to see. They're screenshots and they're step-by-step. So we wrote these like we teach the class, so they're simple to follow. So here's one for HomeSnap. So this will show you how to do the app and set up your app and everything for your iPhone and iPad, and it walks you through step-by-step. So these will hopefully be helpful as you're going through things.
Yep, I would encourage you to check out HomeSnap. One of the other advantages to onboarding with us, with MiRealSource, is your HomeSnap will have what's called HomeSnap Pro Premium. And we're the only ones in the state of Michigan that are doing this, and it allows you to maintain your listing. It allows you to get your associated docs, like I mentioned before. But it also allows you to run your saved searches, all of that. You can do a lot of the things that you do in Paragon today, you can do right there on your phone. So it's
Can
definitely
you
a...
share that with your client, HomeSnap? Is there public access or something like that?
Yeah, you can invite them.
You can invite them.
Yeah, you go to, and you'll see it right under, when you click on agent, you'll see clients, and there's an invite button. And one thing that I should tell you, and you should be aware of, is the fact you don't want to invite everyone in your address book. Don't do
Your agent
that.
do it. And the problem is if you've got agents in there and you've got, doctors, I mean, it's sending it to, if you click that one to invite all, it sends it to hundreds and hundreds of contacts. So you want to individually add them. If we have time at the end, I can always open it up on my
Yeah.
phone just to show you a couple quick things on it.
Okay,
That
thank
might
you.
help you.
Yep. And after we kind of clear up the air of any questions, we'll go into some of the other products that we're going to be introducing, like Cloud CMA. How many here love doing a CMA in Paragon? I don't see any hands. Okay. Cloud is really fast, really easy, which is the reason that we've offered it and your board is offering it. So, okay, back to this. I would encourage you to definitely check out the associated docs. Right now, we don't have any data sheets in there. We'll be adding those as well, but I want you to be aware of, the data sheets. The new data sheets are in Instanet. So we can go into Instanet and show you where they're at. Anything related to the MLS, in other words, the data sheets, they're going to be under the MiRealSource folder. So,
What does
Just
that
bear
mean?
that in
What does
mind.
that mean? The stats? You're talking about the stats?
no.
Your forms for your contracts.
Yep.
Your purchase, you know.
Yeah, how many
so-
here
Will
use-
old ones be there also now at this point or no?
They will, but they won't be any good, because the old data sheets aren't relevant to this MLS system.
Oh, gee. Oh,
So-
no, I'm talking to myself, I'm so sorry.
So when you start putting in a new listing in the profile sheet, you have to go to the MiRealSource one to get the profile sheet now, because they won't accept the old ones.
Yep,
Okay.
So they're under
Okay.
MiRealSource forms and Instanet, so.
Yep.
they're all in there.
Got 4 new listings right now, and I'm pulling my hair out trying to do it,
Yeah.
because there's all kinds of stuff in there
I'll
that.
I'll
like-
take a couple of them if you want.
Right.
standalone.
So where's like vacant land in there?
They're probably under, I'm guessing association ones probably.
Because
have
what
them.
I saw was,
Data sheets?
yeah, residential condo front,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, vacant land's in there, commercials in there, multifamilies
It's all in the
in there.
MiRealSource folder. If you're
Yeah.
looking for the data sheet, it's all in there. They're
Yep.
individually named.
Mhm.
So.
Yep.
those will be in there for you.
Now, bear in mind, we don't call it single family, we call it residential.
Right.
So that's synonymous. So there's this class, residential class, carries single family, condo, and farm. So I know it's a little confusing. For anyone that's used Real Comp, this probably makes sense, but you know that's just the way it works right now. So you can fill out everything. One of the advantages,
Which I can't do right now.
yeah,
Let me
no,
open
you
it.
can.
Do you want me to open up? It won't let me. It's going to give me an error. You can't.
No, you'll get an error, but there is an option there. I hate that she's got icons because it doesn't say list and upload. One of the other advantages of using our MLS system is the data sheets. If you fill them in on Instanet, you can actually upload them into Paragon. You couldn't do that before. So we'll be teaching that in the Instanet class. So if you want to know more about that, come to the Instanet classes.
But you have to have so many items filled. The idea with this is when I'm doing my listings, I come in and fill out whatever I can, and obviously you don't know everything if you haven't been in the house yet. So I fill out as much as I can, pull tax records. I take this and have my client sign it. When I come back, I'll fill in now my room sizes and everything else. I even put my remarks. Because when you click that button, which is here in the top right corner, this upload listing, it takes everything here and puts it right into Paragon and fills out that whole form for you. By the time I get there, I have 3 things left on this form: photos, documents, I'm done. It's a live listing. And this is great too if your admins or anyone in the front helps you. I don't have to double check now what they typed in and make sure there's no typos. I've now pushed everything over. It makes it a partial. It's never live until you finish it, but it's a partial listing and anyone can finish it for you and you know the information's correct because you typed it all in. So it's a great feature. I use this all the time.
Yeah, a lot of
So I
agents,
like it.
sometimes they prefer to enter a listing this way
Right.
than they would through Paragon. Now, I'm going to cover Paragon too, and it'll look pretty familiar, but really this, if you've used Instanet before, this is really the difference that you're going to see is our data sheets and the listing upload. Everything else, if you've used Instanet before, is the same. So nothing's changed, but for more on this, again, I encourage you, we're just getting started. We're going to be offering more and more classes on these products. Right now, we're just finishing up the phase of adjusting you to this new environment.
And there's 6 handouts on it too. They're broken down to doing a PA, slicing, I mean, there's all kinds of information. So if you want to follow this, they're pretty simple. And that might help you get started on it also, until you get your classes started.
Okay, why don't you go into listing entry?
Is it Mike, right?
Brian.
Brian, sorry.
Yep.
Let me ask you a quick question
Yep.
here on this. I'm trying to send a listing detail to a client,
Yep.
right? Composing that email. And I know I had the client in there before, but I don't see it now. And these are the names that are popping up. Do these only come from contacts that are entered in through the Paragon system?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know she was in there before, but now I don't see it anymore. So
If you go into contacts, see if you can find that contact first. If you can, and then it doesn't pop up there, then maybe we got another problem, but find out about that. Okay. What you'll notice now is the order is a little different, but this order falls in line with the data sheet that we just talked about. So it's just top down. You just fill in everything. You'll notice differences, but the feature codes are where they're at. Rooms are where they're at. One thing that's different about our rooms is you get this. You were originally seeing everything all at once. Now, if you enter in, let's say 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a lab, it will reduce that list down to just that many. So it kind of removes the clutter a little bit.
Considerable amount.
Yep, a lot less scrolling. So, and the approach was, you know, we made the data sheet in Paragon as close as we could, so that whatever you fill in or whatever you're looking at, I mean, a lot of offices generally have an admin enter in listings, so the agents don't necessarily do it. So it's easier when they've got something written down and they're able to just go top down right into the MLS system. The tax autofill, you had that before, we had to take it away. I apologize for that. However, you'll see all the counties are available now. And we'll be introducing more. We actually have 16 or 18 counties in Realist. So,
But if you haven't used this, it's simple. You find the property, you select it, you select autofill. When it pulls everything up, if you don't want to include it, or if it's incorrect, just uncheck it. You can see tax information's not in here, so that needs to be updated. You hit save and it drops all those items in for you, so now it just saves you some time of filling in some of the information.
yep. Oh, you can also do that from Transaction Desk. So you didn't have that before. Now you can auto-pop Realist data into Instanet. Again, this is complete. This is all covered in the Instanet class. And I don't want to alarm you like this is it with any Paragon classes. No, we will have Paragon classes. We'll have Collab Center classes, Cloud CMA, Instanet. So, and the idea is, I like to tell agents, we're offering all of these tools to you, but you are in no way obligated to use every one. Pick and choose what works for you, and you do your business that way. But it's our business to at least show you how they work. So, yep, it just completely auto-pops. So this is pretty familiar, although you didn't auto-pop as many fields previously. So this is a little bit of a change. And the same applies to Instanet. You didn't auto-pop at all from Realist and Instanet. Now you will. So it's definitely an advantage there. But in addition to, while we're on the Realist kick here, how many use BSNA? Okay. You'll notice on the properties, any properties that you pull up in Genesee County, they have this little
Garbage can?
garbage can
Supposed
that's
to be
represented by,
Needs to be changed.
yeah, BSNA. I'm actually going to change that name. BSNA, which used to be Gov and BSNA, now they're just officially BSNA Online. So we'll be updating that. It used to be called Access My Gov. But if you click on that, it will give you the full BSNA record completely paid for. So it's free. So there's not a $2 fee on that. That's covered. See? So I think I'm fairly certain Burton, just like most of Genesee County, with the exception of, I think out of 36 municipalities, you have 1 or 2 that are free. They're generally $1 to $2 a record. So this, I think, is one of those. This would normally be a $2 record, but you're able to go right in, verify the information.
But you do need to go in from that link. So you don't
Yeah,
charge.
that's your only access right now. The BSNA at the top, that right now just goes to the non-paid for linking, but it goes to the whole state. So if you search for things in BSNA anywhere else other than this link, then it's not going to be free. So Okay, so, any questions on BSNA and Realist? I know I'm jumping all over the place here,
Is anybody using that TD app on their iPhone?
what is it?
It's that TD app, announcing the new free TD app for iPhones and iPad, manage your transactions on your phone.
Oh, for Instinet?
Oh,
Yes.
transaction
Love it.
desk. Yeah.
Love it, I use it all the time. You can actually write a whole contract right from
Yeah, it says that here.
Very easy. Now, in order to access that, you have to go into Instinet.
I'm already here.
Okay, and you see your settings, this 3 gears over here on the left side of your screen at the bottom. These 3 gears take you to setup.
Do you recommend that?
Yes, absolutely. But you have to come in here where it says link devices, you have to get that access code right in here.
Self-explanatory, okay.
It's so easy. Once you download it, like I said, it's very easy to use, very user-friendly. It's the same
Thank you.
as you view, so, yeah, I think you'll like it.
Okay, yeah, if you click on tax, go to Realist.
It wasn't opening in Firefox yesterday, so I don't know what's causing that.
It'll work in Firefox, you just gotta have it in private mode.
Is that what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
because I couldn't figure out why it was not
Yep.
allowing me to download. I kept allowing it, but it was not letting.
Okay, once this loads, yeah, there's a mobile app for Realist.
Which is good too, I use that all the
Yeah.
time.
Click on change region. Okay, now these are all the counties that you have available today. So you can look up properties on, is it 16 counties, 20?
Yeah, but you can only select it at a time, so. you have to
Yeah,
go
but
just-
but you have access to those.
Yeah.
So if you have a property that you want to look at, or you're considering listing, or you want to know a little more info, go in here, you can pull up that information. You can, if you're familiar with Realist, and we teach Realist classes, so I'm not going to go too deeply into this. But if you want to generate mailing labels, farming, all of that stuff, you can do in here.
Could you do a market analysis of another county from that?
Yeah, actually you can.
I'm using up all our Q&A on time.
No,
Oh, you're fine.
no, bring it on. I mean, there's several ways to do CMAs.
You know, for example, if I got a listing in Detroit, I really wouldn't feel confident enough by fiduciary duty to my client to go down there and give them a good market analysis. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think as agents, I hope we all feel the same way. So I'm just wondering if that might come into play in some situation like that.
Well, here's the difference between what you get out of Realist and you get out of the MLS system. Now, if there's either off MLS records, transactions that occurred off MLS, in other words, they were property records that have no recording in the MLS system,
For sale
you'll
by
find
owners,
them,
for
yeah,
example.
you'll
Sale by
find
owners.
them in here. Now, it does augment this to some degree with the MLS data. So in other words, you don't have that data, but, you know, then it would be found in there. But bear in mind, you do have access to RealComp data, which covers as much of Detroit as you'll ever get out of any MLS system. And as well as MiRealSource. So between MiRealSource and RealComp, that's pretty much Detroit. They're really, and you have Monroe downriver area, which is, you know, it's completely surrounded. So as members of eCard, you have all of the data in southeastern Michigan. That would be in an MLS system.
So you can run that search in Paragon and then do the Cloud CMA, which does a really nice report. Or if you need for sale by owners, you need something that was not through the MLS, this is where you can find more comparables. And it's just by clicking on the link itself from Paragon, you've got this little red link, takes you into Realist, and all you have to do from here is hit comparables, and then you can walk through doing a full CMA in here too. Which I teach that class also, it's a couple-hour class, but I believe I have handouts on that one. I think I've written a few out to help you with that. Is there any questions so far? Anything?
I can't think of one.
Okay. Does anyone have a question about something that you're struggling with that we can show you while we're here? That's the whole idea today, is whatever you've been working on, whatever you're struggling with, you don't know how to do, you're stuck on, whatever it might be, let us help you with that. So I can help you with anything in here.
Can you back up 1 second to that, how to link devices?
Yes,
You said-
an Instanet, yep. So you want to go into your Instanet, and under Setup, which is going to be on the left side of your screen, there's 3 gears. You click those.
Yep.
And then you're going to click on the activation code, which is only good for 15 minutes. So you want to now download the app. See, here's your linked devices. And this activation code is what you need in order to be able to activate it. So you'll go into your phone now and go to your Play Store or your App Store, whichever. Actually, Androids can't do it yet, right? They
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
just
think
yet.
it's available for
It's not, we
Androids
tried the
yet.
other day, so it's
just
only for iPhones. You'll go into your App Store and look up Transaction Desk, and it looks like a little house with a white, let me see, if I can show it to you. It's basically a house with a little white background to it. So this is what you're looking for. So when you type in you want to type in Transaction Desk under, yeah, and if you have it already, then you can just activate it now. But you need to activate it. Go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
Oh, one of those.
It's business.
One
This is
of those,
first. You
yeah.
gotta make money. Okay. All right. What else can we help you with?
You know what? I'm just gonna kind of go into just previewing products,
Let's just-
if there's no questions, and we
Yeah,
can
I
kind
just-
of,
you got a question?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know how, when I'm doing a search, I don't know how to go back. Like, I know what the back button is, but like,
oh, okay, I know,
Let's do a
yeah, I know what
search. I
you're
think I know
talking
what you're talking about too.
Talking about the sub-tabs down
criteria?
here.
yeah.
So yeah, if she runs a search, and you
Yeah,
can
let
go
me
to like
run
a
it
last
right now.
search here.
Yeah. And then once you see your results, it's sub-tabs, it breaks into 2
See?
sections. So here's your
There's
results.
your search result, or your criteria.
Right, and here's your search. So I can just click back on search, it takes you back to criteria, or go back to the results.
Okay.
then
And if you don't want the results anymore, see that red X?
you just
You
click
can
that.
close that out, or you can run 3 at a time in each class for up to 12 searches simultaneous. I would never recommend doing that. Makes things a little confusing, but look at it this way. You could have 3 residential searches running at the same time. So it's an option that you have. Let's say, you know, you're looking at it this way, you just want to leave that, and you want to alter the search another way, and you can. So it's really up to you on how you would use it. I'll be honest, I don't think most agents use the multitasking functions that are in here, but it is nice to know that you're able to do and pull up things. And an example would be you're working for one client and then another calls you. You don't want to get out of that search. It would be easier just, you don't want to lose what you've already done, so you could just open another search and answer that client's question off the phone and then go back to your previous search. You can't do that in any other MLS system.
Is there any other questions right now, or?
Now,
Yes.
I will go into customizing, just really quickly. You know, if there's fields that you don't typically use, we try to make this as friendly out of the box as possible so that you don't really have to alter it. But if you want to, you can go under Customize, Fields, and you can add any of the fields that you want. Now, there's 2 containers in our system. I think you may have had 2 or 3 previously. So you'll see primary, secondary. I think you had primary, secondary, and an advanced, just to complicate things a little bit more. We've kind of simplified it into 2. So if it's not there, check in the secondary, and if it's not there, you can add it to either or. You know, if you don't have waterfront, yes, no, or if you have, you know, you want to have, you know, frontage, or you want to have, let's say, acres, you want that right in your search, you can add that, save it, and then you can make it your default. And that's really that's part of what we teach in the Paragon classes. I wouldn't search on that one.
No.
Actually, that's in the secondary.
Oh, it is already in
Huh?
here? That's why I can't find it.
Yep, it's right there. So, yeah, by default, you're searching across 13 MLSs worth of data. You all know what the GLR is, the Great Lakes Repository. So outside of eCar, you get MiRealSource, RealComp, Shiawassee, Saginaw, as well as Jackson, Monroe, Ann Arbor. All of that data is available to you. So, and if you really look at an MLS's footprint or an association's footprint, they don't have a hard line. You guys you do business outside of Genesee, right?
Oh, sure.
You do. So does everyone else. And if they get a listing, if it's, think about this, within an hour drive, I'm going to take that listing, With inventory the way it is, that overlap is going to be all over the place. So it's important that when you do a search in a particular area, you're getting everything. You don't want to exclude Ann Arbor or Jackson, just in case that agent decided, they were far enough northeast that they decided to take a listing in Genesee County. That's a possibility. So it's important to note that, you have all that data at your disposal.
What do you have for pending sales up there? Has everybody else got 11,000?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Well, that's for the entire MLS.
But I'm only in Genesee County on my,
On your market monitor?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you gotta,
I think you gotta narrow it down a bit.
make sure you should have, actually you should have 1,038.
Well, I got 11387.
Let me look at what
When you
they've
need
got.
to restart after you
This
change
means
the
it's
settings,
saved all.
log off and log back in.
Yeah, I think, or you gotta go on and hit
Yeah,
save
let me
again.
refresh this, hold on.
Yeah, refresh.
I'm showing 48 in mine, what I have
Yeah.
up.
Now, bear in mind,
What I'm searching for.
there is a difference between the way your pending worked in your previous system and the way it works in this system. This is all pending, no matter how far back. This days does not affect the pending. It's the only one. It affects everything else.
Oh, you know what?
Expired, it's days forward.
I got it.
Everything else, it's kind of days back, or open house, it's days forward. But if you run your mouse over it, it tells you what is an impact by that. But the pending, that right now is gonna show you all pending in that area, no matter when it went pending. So if it's been pending for a year, you're gonna see it.
Oh, mine says 11,000 too.
So we need to change it, so what we gotta do is go to that little gear. Wherever you see gears, those allow you to customize and make changes in the system.
1,000
We're
penny,
looking at,
that's
so
a
we see
lot.
where it says county, click in that box and type in Genesee. Is that where you would like to see, is just Genesee?
Can you put in
So
that?
we sold 23 last
What
month.
other county would you like?
In this? No, it would have been sold 23 in the last day.
See in the bottom left.
Yeah, if you're not sure what that means, if you run your mouse pointer over it like
Yes,
this,
I see it.
it's days back. So 1 day back, so within the last 24 hours, 23 properties have sold in that county, or whatever your filters are.
Right. Now, are there multiple price per square foot fields? Because I know when I was setting up my screen, spreadsheet.
Well, there's a price per square foot, there's an asking price per square foot, there's a sold price per square foot, and there's a price per square foot. And the difference is there's asking price, and sold price. Now, price changes depending on the status. This is no different than your previous system. So price depends on the status of the listing. So if it's active pending, it's going to be the asking price. Once it's closed or sold, then price becomes the sold price. Does that make sense?
It does, but you can only fit so many fields across that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Yeah, as long as you understand what price per square foot means, because that price per square foot will change from asking price to sold price, which
So it's really.
is the
like-
whole purpose behind it. I mean, I'm not going to be searching for what they were asking price per square foot, but how it's sold, price per square foot. But when it's active, that's all it's got. So it's just, bear that in mind. Now that hasn't changed. That's the way your previous system was too. So it's just understanding what that means. I don't know how many here noticed this Paragon news window. Now you did have it in the other system, but it does, it gives you some tips about new things that have been introduced. Sometimes they have a video, sometimes it's just a sheet that it just kind of gives you a list of things that were introduced in the system.
Just these are tips and tricks.
Yep, so some things changed, like the driving directions, the quick search. We just recently put the count button at the top of the quick search instead of just at the bottom. It's in both.
Sure, like, much better.
Yep. So that's something to bear in mind. Now your board is going to continue to, be communicating with this in the pop-up windows. You might see occasional messages from me when the system is going down for maintenance.
Okay,
But
you got some good links in here too. How to
Yeah.
repair and-
yeah, those
I mean, that's-
we were talking about that before you got here.
that's a whole
Yeah,
lot,
those are videos. I think they're both with me.
too. Are they?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, they're YouTube videos.
Yes, an hour and 43 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that looks like me.
And
I work,
you
at least I'm not wearing the same
Probably.
thing. So yeah, this class is just kind of, you know what? Now we're past this. It's just kind of, we just want to make sure you're clear. I would encourage everyone, just come back for training. I'm not sure how deep the 19th class is, but
Am I on that one or is?
I don't know.
I thought this weekend and next week were the same.
I'm back here.
Yeah, I
so
think
it's
they
the
are.
same.
They're just like
Yeah,
question
it's
and answer.
one too. So that way we can get everybody in that is interested. That's what it is.
Yep. Yeah, just, things to be aware of. Like I said, the compensation fields, the new fields, all of that. Get used to how the system works if you have any questions on that. If you want, we can give you a little preview about some of the new programs that you'll be getting. We've got time here.
We got about an hour unless there's more questions or something
Yeah.
else you want to see.
Any other questions? Somebody need a hand? They're having issues? Yes?
Yeah, don't know, it's maybe my issue. When I try to find the listing after listing, I got a property, and then I try to hit save, and then try to send to me, because I tell my client to sort the information.
Yeah.
But it linked right to the collab center. I try to add contact, try to add the name, put the name, and then the email
Oh, set up
address,
a
but
collab center client?
Yeah, but I did not receive anything.
So they might not be turned on. Yours might not be turned on. That might be the problem. Do you mind? I can log in under you right now and I can fix it at the same time as I'm showing everybody how to do it if you'd like. Would you like me to fix it for you if it's not turned on?
You mean,
She
Because
could see.
I can see.
She
what
could
you've
see
got.
your account. But if are you okay with us broadcasting your account up
Yeah, it's up to
there?
you. If you don't want it up there, I won't do it. I can
Yeah,
help
you
guys
could just,
do it.
I can go over and
Yeah.
take a look at
I'm
what you're
just
doing.
figuring we just want to fix it for you if we can. It's probably not turned on. There's a button, you've got to turn it on.
I just wonder if that's my problem or the other.
So let me pull one.
Will you pull up me?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me just.
I don't have any business going on right now, but I
No
used to
problem.
sell that.
Okay, what's your last name?
Why don't you just use me as your buyer or something to put it,
I have some,
oh, you do,
I
okay.
have some items.
What's your last name?
Combinate, K-O-M-I-N-E-K.
Lauren. There you go. Okay, so look here. Okay, so once you have them in your contacts, you're going to go to your contacts and you can turn them on from here also. If you view manage contacts, that takes you back to all of them. And is there one specific, Lori, that you'd want to just double check on, or one that you'd be turning on for collection?
Tiffany, let's see, it's,
A-N-Y? So here she is. Tiffany.
Yeah.
Okay, let's double.
she's not getting the emails.
Okay, so let's take a look at her. So once you open it up, everything that is associated with this client's on the left side. These are all their folders. So your general folder has their email address and their contact information. So you want to make sure you have that in there, which you do. Then you'll go down to buyer activity, and here's her search. So let's take a look at that. And you've got it set up as email notification.
And there's nothing new.
And yeah, there's nothing matching that's new. She had 24 originally when you set it up on the 11th, but there's no new matches. So she's only getting an email if there's a new match. Email notifications, what that does is it actually sends them an email with a link. They open it up, they view the listings, and that's all they can do. Collab Center, you set up a website for yourself. The Collab Center allows them to mark what they like. It allows them to send you a comment. They can do their own searching. So that is going to be this one underneath, Collab Center with Auto Notify. In order to have this done, you need to have your Collab Center actually set up, the website. I'm not sure if you did it. Oh, it looks like you did it already. Do you remember doing your Collab Center? Did you walk through the steps? Oh, perfect, okay. So is it okay if I turn it on for her and send her the link? Okay. So once you have it turned on, Collab Center with Auto Notify, a couple things you want to look at. First thing is the notification settings, how they're getting those emails. So if you select that, this will let you see what the message is that you're sending them, so they're getting the same message each time. So here's the email body. So you don't have a special message, but they are still getting all the messages from the Collab Center itself. It's already pre-written for you. Sometimes agents like something different in there, so you can put that there. This is the date. It automatically gives them a year time. If you want to give them less time of receiving the auto emails, then you can turn that off. These are the triggers. So if there's a price change, a new match, or a new comment put in, your client gets that listing. If you'd like them to see open houses, or if a tour is put in, you have to select those. If there's a status change, you have to select that.
Can you click those?
Sure. You want a tour,
Yes,
open
please.
house, status change,
Yes.
initial photo, the main photo. So sometimes you'll get them and there's no photo.
Oh.
This will send it to them again if
Why not?
a new one's added in. So let's save all those. So those are your triggers. This is who it's going to. Be careful if you send this to yourself, because in the notifications you can set up so you're seeing what your clients are doing altogether, like a default. So if I want to just see every time someone gets something new, I already have an email for that. Individually, if I blind copy or CC myself, then I'm going to end up with 2 emails of it. So usually I set up my default the way I'd like to see the results for my clients. And usually I have new matches, if they mark something their favorite, if they put a comment on any listing at all, I want to see those emails, and that's when I get those email notifications. So for here, I wouldn't BC yourself on this, I would just keep it just to your client. And then at the bottom here, this is a subject. Sometimes I change it, and I'll put on here, new homes for you to view, or something that they would know what it is. So, and I can change yours or leave it the way it is, it's up to you.
Will you?
Absolutely. We can put on here new listings.
Please.
And then agent notifications, it's automatically set up for immediately. So the minute something matches, it pushes out. If your client doesn't want to be bombarded through multiple emails throughout the day, I can set up recurring, and then I can put in here a time frame. Maybe she wants them every morning at 8 a.m. So now I can set it up daily, and I want it at 8 a.m. So you can set up just a specific time, and they only get it once a day, or maybe they want it once a week. They're not really a hot buyer right now. They're just kind of looking once a week, whatever way they prefer it. So you can adjust that. Otherwise, if they're a hot buyer with things moving again the way that they were, I would select immediately. So would you like her immediately? Perfect. And now I would hit OK. So that's the first thing, is set up your notifications. Then you're going to send them a link. This is the link that they need in order to access this. They have to go in here and create their password. So it will give them, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then you can add a message in here too. But this is the actual email of what they get. So it's going to have your information, tells them how many matches were found, where do they come from. It explains a little bit about the Collab Center. What are the categories, how to mark things if they like it, if they're possible, or they want to reject them. How they can send comments to you back and forth. They can create their own folders and save, bless you, specific properties in that folder only. They can see comparables in the area. And then this is where they create a password. So they need to create a password so they can link in every single time.
Okay.
So that's the other step that you need once you turn it on. I usually will put in a message in here and explain to them I've set you up, and she probably already knows because you've talked to her, but I usually have a message set up and it just says, I've set you up a Collab Center. You'll be able to view listings that I found for you. You can create your own searches in here. Please call me if you have any questions. Something simple, just so she knows this is the link that she needs in order to get started. and then you would send it. So do you want me to send it as is?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and send that. Perfect. Now she will have received that email, and then once she sets it up, you can see what she's doing. And actually, you can see the site itself. Right from here, I can view her view. So if you click on View Site, this is what she's gonna see once she links in and views properties themselves. And she'll see this every single time. And here's your Collab Center. So you can see here, updates are gonna be anything new that comes in. And then what it does is it drops them into undecided if your client doesn't mark them. So as you look at these properties, there's a heart if they like it, if it's possible, they want to reject it, or if they've created their own folder, they want to drop it in. So as they click on these, it drops it into these folders. So they're always there for them, but it helps so the next time they go in here, they're not viewing all 24 plus the new, they're seeing what's new. So I tell them, try to go in there and just mark them. If you don't like them, just, they're going to still be here. You're not going to lose them. They're still going to be under rejected, so they can click on and view it at any time. It will give them, yes.
If they reject it, will they still get notified if there's a price change?
I believe so, because it's still going to be a match. So even though they rejected that specific one, it should still pull, if there's a price change and they rejected it, they should still get it, because it's still going to read a new price on something that matches the criteria you put in for them. Because that's what it's reading off as your criteria.
Okay.
And you can have 3 searches for them saved, and it will search all 3 for you every single time.
Okay.
Yeah, the big advantage to this is they have one place to go to for all their listings. They don't have to go back through their email and search for a listing. It's organized in one place.
And that email notification window that you had for her before that link, it expires after so long too. So if she tried to go back to an old one, she's not going to be able to view those listings.
Okay.
So this one she can. She doesn't lose anything. The other thing is when they view that detail report, that's when they're going to get all the information, all the photos. They'll show comparables in the area. There's even a mortgage calculator. All this information's in here. But if they click on the photo, they can see all the photos. If there's interior, obviously this is vacant land, so it's not going to show me much. But they do get nice high-res photos. If they scroll down more, you've got public remarks in here. And if they request a showing, or if they send a comment, it's coming to you. You will get an email saying your client has requested a showing on this property, and then you can go ahead and call them or schedule the property for them. Okay, it's not going to go to the listing agent or try to schedule a showing time. It comes to you.
But via email, not
Via
text?
email. Okay, via email. History will show up in here. There's a nice little mortgage calculator. It'll give them an idea of what their payments are going to be. Helps a little bit. And then if they need more information, again, they can, like I said, just go to that. But there's additional views here, map view, and there is a street view too once it opens up.
My client asked me if I had 30 seconds to talk.
Don't you love it?
30 seconds.
Sure, I got half hour for you. And then they got a street view. So this one doesn't, vacant land again, it doesn't have much of a view on
Yeah,
this one.
it's hard
I picked
to
one that, yeah, didn't
find a
have much.
location. Now, this is completely mobile friendly. So, if you squeeze the window down, it will change shape and alter itself to fit like
Right.
a,
Like a mobile.
like a phone or a tablet or whatever. So it's designed to work on anything.
In the top left corner, you tell them those 3 lines there, this is where they're going to be able to do their own searching. So under property search, they can now fill in whatever criteria, they can draw a map, and they can save it, so it will continue searching that for them also, along with the search you've created. They cannot modify the search you've done for them, they cannot remove the one that you've done, you'd have to make changes to that, but they can create their own. So you can see from here, actually we're on the water here, so let's try to locate. But once they're done filling everything out, they can hit the save button, and it will create that search for them. So under these 3 lines, it will put those searches and under my searches, so when they have one saved, it goes in there. If they create additional folders, under saved folders is where they'll find those, and they can adjust those too. So they already have a favorite, a possible rejected, and then they can add whatever they'd like to. And then communication, that's them sending comments back and forth to you. So if they want to send anything, they'll see it in here in the messages. You'll also see them, which I'll show you too, where you can find them. And the last thing is they can walk out. So it's very simple, very user-friendly. Your contact information's here if they need to get a hold of you, and then a little bit about the site, whatever you created when you started your website's in here. And this will take you right back. So it's pretty simple. Is there any questions about the
Well,
Collab
thank
Center?
you.
No problem. So the first thing to do if you want to get into Collab Center is you want to use, there's a wizard that will walk you through to set up your website. So when you have time, just go under Preferences in the top right of your screen. And on the right side, you have one that says Collab Center Preference Wizard. That's the one you want. Your Preference Wizard is for the whole system. That sets up your logo and your photo if you haven't done that already. That's a good one to walk through too. CMA Preference Wizard, that's if you're using the CMA in Paragon, which we don't use. It's horrible. You want to use Cloud, so you wouldn't have to spend time on that. But these two are great to walk through, and it auto-saves and walks you through every step. All right. And your client's set. So now, as an agent, when I come in here and I want to check my clients to see what's going on a daily basis, you have two places. First of all, here, contact activity. This is going to show you what's going on with your clients right in here. So you can see now Chris York, he visited the site, he's got one view on it. So every time they actually log in, you're seeing when they've actually touched it.
Oh, that's what that means? Okay.
If there's new results, it will show up in there. There's new listings under them. I mean, it's great. It helps a lot.
Okay.
But also under contacts at the top, if you go to View Manage, these are going to be all your contacts. And you can tell when they are a Collab Center because all these little circles here will pop up and you'll have numbers in here. So anyone set up as a Collab Center will have these. If they're not, then they're going to be empty. Because if you send email notification, they can't interact with it. It's just an email. So as long as Collab Center's on, now I can see their favorites from here. If they rejected something, I don't have to go into their site. But for example, this one has 4, maybe they decide they want to see them. I can come in here, they say, they're in my favorites. I can open them up from here. Now from here, I can select them all. They say, hey, I'd like to go take a look at these. Can you schedule them for tomorrow? Sure. I can actually select my listings from here. Does anyone use Showing Cart and Showing Time? I love that feature. So from here though, I can go under Actions and I can select Showing Time. And this is actually going to take all those listings and create an actual Showing Cart for me without me having to put them in individually. So I would add to Showing Cart and you select the date, create your buyers in here, put your buyer's name in here like you've got, and then it will walk you through actually setting them up, which I don't want to create a card in here for you, which you don't need. But what it does is on the next page, you're going to see now all 4 listings, and there's a little time box there. Click on each one, set the times, send request one time, and they've all got it. So now you can do them individually. So this is also a great feature. The showing time, like I said, is great. So I did that right from here. This actually gives you a few things. When you're doing the Cloud CMA, which when you walk through that, you'll see, when you find your listings that you want to use for your cloud, here's your little link. You're going to click on that. All those listings are going to pull automatically for you into cloud. Now you can fill in the rest of the information and create your CMA. So this little action link has a couple little tools in there for you. And that's it. So your contacts again. This sub-tabs, when you open a contact, I just clicked on her listing, so now I've got to click back to go back to the contact information. If you see this little exclamation mark, they opted out. Now I've had this happen, my client bought a house, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want those emails anymore, and they opt out. Later on they say, oh, you know what, can you turn it back on? I want to just see what's going on in my area. Now if I try to put that email in again, it gives me an error. So when you do get that, you're actually going to walk through the step of putting the email, error pops up, and a little link will pop up in there to opt them in. You have to open that up and put in their email address and send them a new link. They have to opt back in or you can't use that email address. It won't let you back into it because they clicked on that opt out button at the bottom of your email. So that's how you pull them back in with the same email. Any questions with the contacts and turning
What's
any
the view mean on your site?
This takes you to your site. So the one like we just looked at, if I click on this one again, I'm going to see what my client's viewing. This is their Collab Center.
Okay.
Yeah, so each one individually I can see it right from there too. So it gives it to me right from here. But like I said, the idea of seeing what they're doing, so these clients right here, this one accessed it March 13th. So you can see they're looking at it. So if they're not, you're not going to see anything here. It's going to be empty. So you'll keep seeing that there's, things have been sent to them. So this one was sent on the 8th, but they haven't even accessed it yet. So you know who's actually using it and who's not, which helps too.
Can you bulk load clients into the contacts?
Yes. So I can add what you have to do is first export them wherever you have them as a CSV file.
Right.
And then I'm going to import them in. So you've got an import button here. And then I'm going to, I don't know if I want to merge or skip them. If you have duplicates, you can do either or. But you can see select a CSV file right here.
Yeah.
And then you'll find it on your computer, drop it in, and they all drop in for you. If you have problems with that or not sure how to save a CSV, call our text, they will walk you through. It's a very simple procedure, but I mean, myself before this, I would have never known what a CSV file is. So they will walk you through that. It's pretty simple to do. Okay, is there any other questions about the contacts or adding on or turning them on? And now that one of the features too is the seller side. So you can link your listings to your clients so they can see what's going on in the area around them. They'll get email notifications, which is great too. So that's another one that I always will link them in. As I put them into contact, if I have a listing, it will ask me if I want to link this to, if I want to link a listing to this client. And then you can select which listing it is. And that way they get that activity. And it looks like you're actually checking it, but it's automatically checking it for them, which is nice too. Anything else that I can help you with contacts or? Let's be good with contacts.
Do you have market, like at Remax, we have like a Max Tech thing that you can put in somebody's stuff and make them aware of everything that's going on in their zip code.
Okay.
Similar to that report, is there something in Paragon that does that as well, that gives it like a market report?
Yeah, market. So we have that seller report, which I was explaining to you, that you link listings to, that one. Otherwise, you're actually just creating your own search and saving it and having to do that auto email. And you don't have to do Collab Center, you can just do email notification. They get a link, they click, and they view those listings in the
Right,
area.
that's in the Collab Center though, the email notification.
No, it's
button.
actually, you have that under contacts. So for your contacts, Lori, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna open
No,
another
you're
one just to show where that's at. I'll just open one of these others, it doesn't matter. So under that contact, if you look on the left, you have your buyer activity and your seller activity. So if you're a buyer and you look at, let me go to the one that had a search in it. At that search, you have an option for it to be off. You can do a no notification, which actually just pulls all the listings that matches and keeps them there and you can view them, but it doesn't send out to anybody. And then email notification is the one that sends just a link. It's not interactive, it's not the Collab Center, it's just an email notification. There's a link, they click, they view those listings, and then they call you or ask questions, whatever they like to. So that's the difference, and then your Collab Center. If your client tells you, I don't turn these off, once they buy a house, I leave them on. Because you know what, it's advertising for you. I had a client that I ended up getting a couple of referrals from just because of that. Because she kept seeing my name in there. So people say, oh, I got a house to sell. She said, oh, I got a perfect agent for you. So keep it on. If they opt out, they opt out. You can add them back in. But unless they tell you to turn it off, I don't. And if they tell you to turn it off, you can just turn it off. And you don't have to go in and remove them. Keep them in there. You never know. And plus your contact info's there. But this off button will turn the notification stop. So they won't get them. But searches will still be in here. All their information's still here. So if you ever need to use them, 5 years from now they want to sell again, you've got their information. And then email history, if you look individually per client, there's an email history button. If you click on that, you can see exactly what emails they're receiving, what days are being sent to them. If they say automatic, those are obviously the Collab Center or your email notification. Manual, you sent that to them. And if you want to view what they got, all you have to do is click on it, and it should open below. And then I can click here, this is the listing, and actually let me show you this. This is an email notification. This is what they're seeing when they get that link. So as an agent, they're only getting your contact information. And then it gives them the listings here so they can click from one to the next and view them. Which report is this?
Pardon me?
Which report did you send on this one? Oh, it's auxiliary
Hard to
data sheet.
say.
Okay. Is that what you usually send your
No,
clients?
I don't know.
By default, so it's probably alphabetical, so if you don't change it, it sends to whatever's the first one. So when you go in there and do the email notification, make sure that you are turning that to like the client full package is what I like giving them. So let me go back to one that is on, let's see this one. Under email notification, let me turn this one on now, so let me do this. Let me just send a listing so I can show you without, I want to turn hers on and off. Let's do this. So let's pull one of your last searches, a couple listings here.
So I sent that client all the listing agent information instead of the information regarding the home.
Is that what the auxiliary information
I don't
is?
know, I don't.
Well, let's look at it, because I've never seen that report. I don't think we have that report, so I'm not sure. Let me pull one of these properties real quick and let's look at it.
So when you say report, are you talking about like the client detail versus a full data
Yes.
detail and all that
Yes.
stuff, right?
Yeah, so you did the auxiliary data sheet, that's what they were getting.
Yeah, you don't
Yes.
get much.
So they're not getting
You gotta
much of
change
anything.
that.
There's no photo or
I learned it
anything.
the other day too.
So for anyone that's an email notification, if they're not an email notification, you know if they're not. So was he a collab center or was he a, is this one was it the email notification? For Mary and Al?
I think I emailed
Okay. So I'm gonna switch it back. So the email notification, if you do choose this one, and it's not a problem, you just wanna make sure that you're selecting the correct one and, let's see if it will let me edit. Here's the email. So once you open it on the left here, here's my notification. This is what they're gonna get. So it's on, and they're currently getting, so they're getting 5 per page sold info, looks like. So edit notification. When you turn that on, this is what you get. And this is where you're gonna make the change. See here, result view, it automatically pulls the first one. So we wanna send them that nice client full package, which is 2 pages, all the photos, your information only, the map. So that's what we wanna keep on for them. So you wanna make sure that's turned on anybody that's an email notification. So that's what I would send to them. Okay. So do you want them as a collab center? Do you want me to send them the
Yes,
link?
please.
I mean, so while I'm in here, I'm just gonna do some stuff for you and help you.
Thank you.
I don't
Where's
mind
the
at
price
all.
of admission? Right
I don't
there.
mind at all. So let's go to collab center for them. And let's just double check their notifications on this one. And do you want to add in the open house, the tour, and all that information here too?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's go ahead and turn those on. And save that. And then immediately, is that okay?
Yes.
And did you want a different subject for them?
Took a class today, say something funny, like, my instructor's helping me.
My
What do you think?
instructor is
Helping me to
This,
understand.
this class is really helping.
helping me give you a better product.
Yeah, there you go, thank you.
Yes, let me, here, we can put in there, let me know.
What's your number? Because if they call, they're gonna need to talk to somebody.
The collab
Good thing she
center.
doesn't work in our area.
That's right.
Just an hour away. Okay, so that's gonna be subject.
Thank you.
So we'll see if they like it. And then you might wanna come back and change it because they'll stay like that every single
Right,
time.
I will, I will.
So it's just under notification, so we've got that, we'll hit okay. And then I'm gonna send them the link right now, so they've got their link. And we'll go ahead and hit send. And then you just want to touch base with them today and explain to them as they came in there, just so they look for it.
Okay.
There we go.
Yay. You're gonna need to call them.
Yes, they're gonna be like, what is this? What is she messing around with in here? Okay, so we've got them turned on, so they're good. This little green circle here, whenever there's a new activity that you have not viewed, you'll see that green circle. So if there's multiple searches too, it allows you to click on that, and then it's gonna open up the searches underneath. So right now, it's gonna show the one search, if there's anything new, it's loading it right now. And it'll show you if there's any new matches. So like this one has, one change, so that's probably what the new activity was. And it could have been a price change back on market, something changed on that listing. Okay, and that's basically it. So that was a quick contact collab center class for you. So is there any other questions or something else you're gonna try to do in here? Collab center, you're pretty good with that? Okay.
We can show Cloud CMA. Again, this is a preview.
I was just playing on that.
Did you say that?
Did I hear you say you're a Remax person?
No, Century 21.
Oh. I'm sorry, I thought I heard.
No, I didn't mean it
Because
to
when you
sound
do it through
way
that
on
Max
me.
Tech that we have at Remax thing, that Cloud CMA, it does all the branding for you and everything. That's really
Oh.
nice, man.
So they must have somehow integrated it. That's wonderful.
They did.
That's great.
'Cause
Not
it's
all
all-
the offices have that option, like my office does not have that
Yeah,
option, so that's
it's
really nice.
pretty nice.
So from here, for doing a cloud, you always want to run your search in Paragon. The reason being is the cloud does it quick and dirty and it's horrible. It will pull expired, it pulls withdrawn. I don't want those for my client.
But you can edit all those. You don't
You
have
can
to check
edit,
them.
But I can get more specific and narrow down my results in Paragon before I pull them into the cloud. So that's why I like doing them in here. So you're gonna do a full search. Actually, I'm gonna go back to myself because Kim's gonna have all the stuff saved in her thing and she's gonna be like, what is all this stuff? So let me go back to my own, so that way if I'm messing things up here, it's in my own account and not hers. So I don't wanna be adding all this stuff and she's not gonna know what it is. So let's get out of here.
You don't mind. Keep going.
Well, actually, I'm not in Lori's anymore. I was back to Kim Thompson, so I can show you what you guys are seeing, but let's go into mine. So let me go into a search here. So So I'm just gonna pull one of my searches that I've done. Actually, I just ran comps for a couple of them for clients and listings that are gonna be coming up. This one. You know what, let me get rid of your belts. This is gonna be our cottage, so let me just search on this. So from here, once you've got your results, you'll go through here, look at your photos, check the ones that you want. You select whatever ones you want to use. So I'm going to use all 10 of hers. You go into your action link, we did earlier, and now you're going to go to the second from the bottom. It says Cloud CMA, CMA. So I'm finding my results, check marking them, and then hit that action link. When you select Cloud CMA, CMA, it's going to actually open up the cloud page for you. It's going to drop out in those MLS numbers for me. So I don't need to, and they're going to see them right here. So if you get to this point and realize I forgot a listing, not a problem. I can just put a comment and add whatever else I need to. So what that action link is doing is allowing you to search in Paragon instead of having to copy and paste those in like I used to. You can now just pull them automatically with one click. So it saves you a lot of time. This is that quick and dirty, like I said,
But you can,
modify it.
you can, but my question is, can we view those to edit the report from the exact?
Yes, these ones.
That's gonna be the next step, I'm assuming, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yep, so let me put in here, I'm gonna keep going so I can show you, because there's only 4 steps. If you look at the top, these are the 4 steps. This is the
Right.
criteria. We're gonna look at those listings, we're gonna customize it and create it. That's it, very simple. You have to put the property address in. So this one's, I think, 4989. Let's see the address on this, because it's gonna locate, it has to be a real address. It's gonna locate it. So I just wanna make sure I get the right one in so it finds it. This is, oh yeah, it is 4929 Point Trouble. And as you start typing, it's going to start looking for it. So here it is. So there's my Bottleneck property. If it finds records, this one, because of the area, there's not much on it. I'm having a hard time finding any records. If it finds any records on it, it will automatically pull square footage for you. If it sees bedrooms, bath, it fills those in for you automatically. If it doesn't, you can just put them in here. So we'll just throw a couple things in here real quick. If you have a photo, I like having photo instead of the aerial view. So if you have a photo, you can put it in here. A lot of times I go to tax records and I pull their front view, save it. Sometimes they're old, doesn't matter. Just to have a photo instead of just an aerial, you don't really see much. So let me just grab one of mine that are in here right now. Let's see if I have one. I'll just pull in my other listings. This is not the right photo, but we'll just drop it in here just for now so I don't have to search for the other one. So the ones with waterfront. Drop that in there. You can crop it, so once it gives it to you, so it's not a good example, but just to give you something in there instead of the aerial view. You can select crop, and it drops it in there. If you don't like the photo, you can cancel it. It still will give you that aerial view in here. Under property type, there's advanced information. This is more information about that property. So I can now add in here built. I can put in there if there's a garage. I can put in the area. So any of this I can put in. It's more for my records. Some of it will pull on the actual report itself, but this is going to be style. And then you're going to select the next step, which is fetch listings, and it's at the bottom also of your screen. So either one will get you to fetch listings. So you're going to click on that. It's now going to pull those listings in for you. Once you create this, you can go back and edit and modify and change it.
When you chose those 10 right off the bat, are you guaranteed there's not going to be any duplicates in that? Are you
So you're not supposed to be getting duplicates. Once in a while I do find them. So I selected them without looking at them. Normally I will sort them by address.
Yeah.
Because then I can just select the one I want.
I just wondered if there's something that, we for sure aren't getting duplicates.
Well, and here's the problem. Some agents belong to 2 different MLSs. They're only supposed to put that listing in one, but they're so nervous it's not going to be in the other, they put them in both. So that's why you end up with those duplicates. And we keep telling them, they're going to be there, I promise, it's going to send out, but they're so worried about it that they'll put in both, and that's what causes a little bit of a delay. So, so that they shouldn't be in there. And the next screen, when I get to that screen, if it's not in there, or if it's in there, I can remove it. So I still have a chance to remove it. Photos in here, here we go. Just do one of these. These will probably be better. They shouldn't be as big. so fetch listings. And it's gonna take a second. It's now pulling all the information from Paragon, so you just gotta give it a second for it to, you can see it's, don't keep clicking like I do and end up freezing your computer. I've done that a million times, so do that. You can see at the top too, you've got an option for a buyer tour in here, and then a property and a flyer. Those are reports for your listings that you can put inside your listings. You can create these in here too. So once it loads, it actually will show you a map of all the comps that you pulled. And you can make it bigger and smaller, so if, you know, if you've got more showing up that's not pulling up, you can adjust it. It's going to give you an option to put a price in here. You can put a price range. So if I say, you know what, I think this is going to be worth maybe between 200, but I'm not sure because I haven't been inside of it yet, so I'm going to take a look. But let me give them a range. So 200 to say 250, depending on what kind of work needs to be done, I can put that in there. So it will show that. You also have an option for a net sheet. If you fill out the net sheet, it's going to adjust their bottom line by your minimum, your first number. So if you do a range, otherwise whatever price you put in there, that's where it's going to give them a breakdown of all their costs. So you can do this, but you have to fill them in. You're putting in all the specifics for them. Under there is the listings. So now I can take a look at these one more time. So as I look at these, there's the details and adjustments. I can open that. And now I can see the photo. I can read more information. If I decide, you know what, this is really not a good comp, I can remove it by unchecking it right up here. Or if you end up with a double, you can just uncheck it. It takes it out, makes it cloudy, and it's not in your report. So that's how you can adjust them. I like to put them in a pricing order, so I usually like my lowest price first, and then I will move them up and down. And all you're doing is left clicking and dragging it up and down, and dropping it. So it's pretty simple to move these around. So you can adjust them this way. There's those. If you want actives first, you can move these to the top. They don't have to be at the bottom. So again, whatever way you prefer to show it to them and explain it to them, that's the way you can do it. You can still add another listing right here. I can still drop in another MLS number and it will pull it, so I don't have to start over again. And then I can customize my report now and select what I want to show them in that report. There's a lot of information. Some pertains to it, sometimes it doesn't. There's things about short sales in there. It talks about appraisals, how to stage your home, you know, things like that. So you'll want to look at these and see what you would like. Everything on the right is in your report. So if you see it here, it's already here. This red circle removes it and drops it to the top left here. So these are things that can still be added back in. You have an option of changing your theme. So I'm going to put my theme. It gives you a preview. They're basically color themes, so you're going to want to look at something maybe that matches your logo. I usually do red and black for our logo, but depending on your office logo colors, you might want to just switch it to one of those. And there is an option for, they've got a new one, it's called Modern. So it looks different than the old one. So I'll open one of those, you can see what it looks like. So you can select whichever. And as you open them, it gives you a quick preview. So you can decide, yeah, this will work, or no, I don't like it. So and here's what it looks like. So this is your modern view and your classic one that we had before. Let's do, just so you can see a quick difference of it. It removes like your headers and stuff are no longer on there. So this is your old view. So it has these headers, the header and footer. Footer has all your contact information in it, and it's kind of giving it a different look than what the modern does. So again, whichever you like. Whatever you pick this time, it saves as a default. So next time you come in here, it's the same way. Then you can adjust again. So you can choose your theme. And then you can select, once this is done, your layout. If you want a lot of information, there's the first three that'll come up here once I open it, that will either have a photo with map, 2 photos, or photo with maximum data. That is going to give you the most information on those properties, these first 3. Once you go down to these, it's going to condense it. So this gives you 2 properties per page. Now you've got columns, so 4 properties, 3 column comparison, 4 columns. You're not going to see, like these ones, you won't see interior photos. So these will give you all the interior photos if you choose to have them. So I usually use one of these. These are the ones I like. It tells you what's selected. If you want to change it, you can. I usually like the photo with map. And then your font can be changed. These are your options. And whatever you select, it's through the whole report. So you're going to change it to whatever you like. And again, these will also stay as a default. So next time it'll be the same way. Layout stays the same, font stays the same, theme changes stays the same each time you make a change to it. Go down further here, if I look at these and I say, for example, my agent resume, I don't have to set up. If you want to remove it, you just hit this little minus here, drops it over and over here. As you go through these, so I've got my details, my photos. I didn't do any adjustments, so I'm going to remove my adjustments. I want my stats on it. Maybe I didn't do a list price, you want to get it out of there. I didn't do a net sheet, so I'm going to get that out of there. So as you go through, you'll remove what you want. There's a lot of it's pre-written, some good information. As you go through them, you may not like it, so just remove it. You don't have to use it. If you don't have your testimonials, this will link to like Zillow or some of those other sites just to pull your first 10 testimonials that your clients put on there. And it puts it right in for you. It's not a short sale, so I want to get rid of that. And then as you go back here on the left, anything that starts with Power Pack and below, there's a charge. There's so much in here, you really don't need it. They try to upcharge you to sell you some of these items, you really don't need it. But if you like it, you're welcome to use them. Over here on the left, if I open each one of these, I can see what I've got in here. So for example, if I want the map, I can select that. You can do actually a view of that. Just give you a preview. So it opens up. If you want to use it, this plus sign drops it over. Under listings, if I want more photos, it only gives you the first dozen. If you want more, all of them, I usually put all of them. If you want different stats, this online valuation analysis, I believe, is its estimate. I usually don't like putting it in there. And if you like using it, you can.
You said it's estimate?
It's its estimate.
Yeah.
We told them to remove it. By default, it used to be in there, we're like, get it out.
Yeah,
The agent wants it, they're welcome to use it. I don't like having my estimates in there. Unless they're way off and you want to show your client, look at the difference of what I found you. This is why we don't want you using Zillow, we want you to use what we have. I mean, that's a good way. Sometimes they're pretty close, sometimes they're way off. I've had them go both ways, so, you never know. But if you use Zillow, and you want to show that, you're welcome to. Under closing, there's other ones here that I can pull, features that sell, guidance, selling your home in a tough market, negotiating. I like using the CMA versus appraisal, so they understand the difference between what I'm showing you and what you're going to get in the appraisal. That explains a little bit. How they can vary. So some of these, like I said, as you go through, you'll realize what you like and what you don't. You can make your own pages. You can create your own, which is all under settings, which I'll show you in a second. But you can put in your resume. You can put in, maybe you have a specific letter you like to include in your report for all of your clients. One for a listing, one for whatever it might be. You can add those all in there. Okay, so after you're done, I'm going to probably remove a couple of these just because I have a feeling that this is going to be huge.
For the sold properties, does it show concessions?
Yes, it should. It should if it's in, I believe it gives all, we'll look right now.
Because the field's there.
Yes, and I believe it pulls that field too. We'll double check right now. I want to say yes, but let's double check. So the last thing is publish it. That's it. Now I can create my report. It does take a few minutes. And once it creates it, you can email it to your client right from here. You can copy the link that opens up. What it does is it creates a link for the PDF, because this is a large file. Right now I probably have 70, 80 pages in this actual report because of all that I selected in there. So if you try to send it as the actual PDF, it's too big, it won't go. So it creates a link that they'll click on and it downloads right to their computer. So they'll get that full PDF report. If I'm meeting with them, they have a nice presentation mode. It works great with a tablet or an iPad, and you can basically just swipe through and look at photos and kind of go through everything. I prefer to do that instead of going through those 80 pages and trying to find everything in there. Which I'll show you what that looks like too. That turns out really nice.
If they get the link, does it notify you that they opened it?
No, unfortunately that does not tell you. I wish it would. That would be a nice little feature there. Just so you know if they looked at it or not. But this is publishing. These three dots here, once it's done, this is where you copy the PDF link. You can copy the slideshow, which is that presentation mode, and send it to them. You can email it directly from here. I usually will send it from my own email just so they see my email address come through, but it does show it's coming from you. If you need to make changes, this edit will take you right back. But while we're waiting for this, let's take a look at this slideshow here. So we can take a look at one of these. Let's do this one here. So as you click on the slideshow, now this is more optimized for like an iPad or tablet, so it's a little clunkier on the computer, but you can do it on a computer. So this is what my clients are seeing, and this is what they got in the report. Now it's limited to what you see in here. So it did an aerial, which I don't like my aerial. Let me use it now. It's all pixelated, and that's because it's that waterfront Algonac, so it did not look an aerial view of it. But here in the bottom right corner, instead of swiping, you're actually going to click. So there's an arrow right here for you. So if you're using a computer, you'll click on the first one.
Does your touch screen allow you to swipe like that?
I wonder. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So if you have a touch screen, you can still do it. Your contact information pops in, click the arrow, it gives you a map of all the properties that you selected for the counts. You an arrow to the next one. Sold listings first, they're separated, so here's your first, gives you a little byline about solds. And then you click, here's the first one. So you can see it's very limited to what I see here. I can see sold, 4 bedrooms, 1 bath, square footage, and then the first photo. To see more, now my arrows, if you look in the bottom right corner, there's an arrow down. So if you arrow down, now I can see the
Or
first.
swipe down.
Yeah, or swipe, obviously, but I'm saying with the computer. And then additional photos. So I selected all photos, so everything's coming in. And you can click on these, I'll make it larger for you too. Then you click the arrow again, here's the next one. So when you're sitting with them, it's a little less clunky to walk through this, I think, than walking through that full report. Because now you're looking, well, let's compare, what does it look on the inside of this one? Do they have upgraded, updated house, it's a more updated kitchen, bath, so it gives them a better idea. Then you got your actives, a little byline about actives, takes you to your first active listing, next one. If you have pending, that'll be the next thing, but then it gives you your stats. So it breaks down your comparables. Here's an analysis. This will show you the difference between the list and sold price, the percentage of difference, and how many days on market, and dollar per square foot. So it gives them a little bit of a breakdown right there for you. And here's a little bit more. Here's some more factors of, this is the breaking down your actives also. If there's pendings, it shows them in here too. Low, medium, average, and high. Then next steps, and again, if you, this one's pretty basic, but the other one you can remove, like if you don't like the commission distribution. I like showing them that I'm not getting the full check. This is nice because it breaks down into different sections, so it gives them a little better visual. This is really nice. It explains to them the fair market value attracts more buyers. So that first 2 weeks, if you list at market value, you're getting 60% of buyers. If you're going 10% over, you're losing. You're only getting 30% of buyers walking through. These were some statistics that they pulled. If you're going under, you can see how the numbers change. So just gives them an idea. Same thing here. First 2 weeks are the most vital for marketing. Once you get to here, I can now send that full report to them right from here, or I can view it right from here too, which I'm going to go back and show you. It should be done here. I can open it right here for you too. So I'm going to open that up. So to view this, click View PDF. It's downloading it. So it's 36 megs. So if I tried to email this, it was not going to go through. It would give me an error. So as soon as it finishes, it will pop open for me. Any questions so far? So as soon as this opens up, we'll take a look. Yes.
For the CMA report, and make comparison with different houses. Is any adjustment to, because sometimes you compare with the house, they are not identical. Some like have
Right.
a bedroom more or.
So when I opened up, I should have showed you, when I opened up the next page that showed the listings, and you hit View Listing Details, at the very bottom, there's a box that says Adjustments, and I can put in an amount in there to adjust the pricing. So you can make adjustments, and that will show up. You have to make sure the adjustment sheet is in your report, make sure it's selected, and it will come in there.
Yeah, we teach that in the Cloud CMA class.
Oh.
So right now, we're just kind of giving you a little preview.
Let's try this one right now.
Yeah, it's more like sense. Makes sense.
It's downloading. It's taking a second now.
But if you want to preview another,
I was going to, but they're all going to be large. They're going to all do the same.
no, I'm talking about market stats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They don't have that yet.
Oh, yeah, I can show the market stats while this is.
Just saying, we've got some free time, we
Yeah,
can
let's
just
do
give
that.
you a little preview, or we can adjourn. It's entirely up to you.
Market stats are good.
Sure. Yeah.
I gotta take off.
So, market stats, you want me to show them the market stats on here? So market stats, you have them set up, once you have the market stats, you will have a link to get you into market stats that you can click directly from here, and that will take you into market stats. It's this little graph thing right here. You won't have it right now. When do you expect them to have it?
Like at the end of the month before, like by April 1st.
By April 1st. Okay, so it'll be coming. So look for the little graph. When you click on that, it takes you right into market stats for that specific property area. So now it's going to tell me what's going on over there, and it creates one for you. So now it will fill all the information, it's crunching the numbers. And you can create these and post them on Facebook. So I create some in market stats all the time, and I just drop them on Facebook so people can see all of Macomb County or Genesee.
Sorry, I was
No,
so
don't worry.
disruptive.
No, don't worry about it. Have a good one. So Genesee County, Macomb County, whatever area, and I can set up to see, at the bottom here, you can see new listings, homes for sale, pending, closed, days on market, the month supply. Sales
Thank
price.
you.
You're welcome, have a good one.
So is this like for the neighborhood then?
Yes,
Or-
it's
So it's
gonna
not like a zip code?
You can put a zip code. You can select, if you're creating your own, you can select whatever you like. So I can add areas in here, so if I click on this, right now it's pulling from that specific property because I
Okay.
selected the link. But I can put postal code, I can put an area, a county, school district. I can select a whole MLS, which you really don't want, it's crazy, the numbers when you see those. And I can add multiple and have multiple graphs going that shows the differences between, so I usually will do like Macomb County and Oakland County, because I do a lot in there. So you can see my two graphs going with the two different numbers, whatever I selected to show them, depending on what I want them to see. So this is great. So now it's created one already now for Clay Township for where that property was that I opened up. So this is showing sales price and what the change is in sales price for the last 3 years. I can adjust this to, I've got lines and I've got bars. So if I want just a bar look, you can. I find the lines, you can see a little bit more. I can go back 5 years, 10 years, or the maximum data that they've got. So if I go max, let's see how far back this goes. We go all the way back to 2003 to now. And you can see the price. And as you touch this, they're interactive, it tells you what the price range is in that area. And I can share this right from here. So you've got to share and print. So when you share, you can set it, if you do live, it's going to continue to adjust. So if I put this on my Facebook and I select live, and then I put a byline in there, and then the market changes, and then the numbers are all skewed and they're different than what I put on there, it'll be a little off. So I usually, unless you're going to keep it pretty broad, you could put live and it's constantly updating every time someone's opening it, or static is what I'm viewing right now, that's what they're going to see. So depending on what you're trying to show. And then you can do a PDF. So this is really good if you want to include it in your CMA reports. You want to show it to your client, whatever you'd like, you can do a PDF. You can do social media, you can embed it into your own website, or you can also create a CSV file in Excel. When I hit share, I like to view in a new window so you can see it, and then I can share it right from here. So this is what it looks like. So that's that graph I just did. And there's Facebook right here, Twitter, email, Google, and then plus all these others. You can share it multiple ways. So you can just click on any of those and it's going to actually pull it right into there and post it right on your page.
I hope I don't see a graph like that again.
Isn't this horrible? 2003 to now, 16 years.
Yeah.
Look at that dip. That's a scary dip. And we still got one here, so I'm hoping we don't keep seeing those dips. So, and then the other nice thing in here you can do is these fast stats. These are great too. You need something quick? Click on your fast stats.
Yeah, right.
That's not loading, I know. I'm like, it's fast. Okay, so first thing is you've got local market updates. So you can select it by area and a time period. So I can't select a whole, I can't select like a specific county in this one, but this will allow you to select, oh, you know what, I might want you to do just the county, will it?
Huh?
Do I still have to do the area or can you keep the county? Let me see.
Oh, you can do just the county. See, right there?
Oh, there it is. Okay, that's fine, I missed it. There it is.
Thank you so much. I
You're
don't want to
welcome.
talk.
No problem. So here is Genesee County. So this is going to give me market value for February and year to date. And you can change the time. You're welcome. There's a time period there that I could have changed it to whatever I'd like to show. But you can see new listings pending and all this information here. Condos, residential, gives them some graphs. So this is really nice report. This is great for your your sellers too, as you're listing, so they can see visually what's going on in the area too. I do like this one. And then let's close all of these. Then you've got monthly indicators. So this is going to be your whole MLS, but then I can select what time period. So let's view this report. Let's do the entire MLS. And it's going to give you most recent. So this is everything in our system. And this is going to give you a 14-page report. So there's a lot of information in here. So new listings. It
When you
tells
say
you.
this, you're talking about all the counties then?
This is everything. Everything that you're seeing in Paragon is in here.
Okay.
That's what it's doing. Right. And then you've got monthly data sheet. So this is also your whole MLS, and then you can select again a time period. And then you also have an annual report. So it's going to break it down instead of that bigger report. But the local market updates is what's going to give you a specific county. The others are going to give you everything. So these other three will be all the MLS information. But then you can select, like I said here. So this is really nice, and it's just called Fast Stats. So it's really easy to get to. Okay, and then we can go back to InfoSparks, and that's your main page is your InfoSparks. So it's very simple. So if you're doing your own, you're just basically coming in here and filling all this information. And then you can go ahead and see your graphs down here, selecting things on the bottom here, and then it shows your graphs. So if I go pending sales, it'll give me my numbers. It just keeps crunching numbers for you. You can post whatever you'd like, or print them, email them, whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, they do, because this is a showing time product, they do vary some of the stats from showing time. So like showings to pending, and then, showings per listing, so you get those analytics too.
And that's it, basically it. So I'm going to take you back to that report because it's done. Let's see, open, here it is. So here's SC made 69 pages I did earlier. But it's a much nicer report, like I said, than the one that we have in our system. And you can see this is all pre-written. If you like it, you can use it. If you don't like it, don't use it. Explains all that. Your contact information, this QR code, if they scan it, this whole report will be on their phone or their mobile device. And then the map, here's all the comparables that I pulled and I selected. It gives them more statistics and breaks them down for them. And then now you're going to see individually, I selected photo with map and all the photos. So that's why it's so large, because I included all those photos, all the stats, all those info pages. So if I go through here, it goes all the way to page, mostly, so up to page 55 is all photos and their information. And then now I get down into more breakdown information that's going to break it all, the numbers down for me, for them. So it's a really nice report. There's my suggested price, so I gave them that range, which you can do. And then marketing action plan, and again, a lot of pre-written stuff, so you might want to read through it and see what you like and what you don't. And that's it, so it's a really nice report. So that's the one I suggest using. And again, all we did was from Paragon, we went into our listings, selected the ones that you want, and that little action link took you to Cloud CMA, and then just go through those 4 steps.
Now, the price that it generated, was that automatically generated, or did you come up?
I typed it
put
in.
that in there?
I typed it in, yeah, just to show you, you can.
Okay.
You don't have to include any price, especially if you've never been in
Until
there.
you get in the house, I'm not
Yes.
giving them anything,
That's
I'm writing.
I usually don't. I usually don't, because then they'll be like, well, you said. I don't either. But if you've been in there, or maybe it was a listing you had before, you have an idea, or you've already walked through, you can put it in there. Otherwise, you don't need to. So that's it. So that's the cloud stuff. Is there any questions about anything? I know we gave you quite a bit of information, but those handouts are great. Honestly, if you can get time, go into the MLS documents in the top right and go under your education folder. So here's the kids. So under e-car. So under here, your education, and open up any of these that can help you. So that cloud we just did is in here. The market stats is in here. Realist is in here. Every section of Paragon, we've got so much. We keep trying to write them for you as we're doing these classes to make it easier. Is there anything else you can think of? Did I miss anything? Okay,
No?
we're good. So
Thank
there's
you.
no problem.
Thank you very much, you
You're
guys.
welcome. No problem. If there's anything else we can help you before you leave, let us know. Close everything out.
So, question, so
Yeah.
the classes, the training classes will still keep on?
Oh, yeah.
running?
Yeah.
A lot
This
more.
is, I felt like offering this class just after conversion was just something to offer you for question and answer, because the classes that will come back, or what we'll have from this point forward, are going to be Collab Center, Cloud CMA, Instanet, so all of those classes. This was just something that we didn't have an agenda other than offering up a question and answer, and then just kind of. So for anyone that felt like, you know what, I'm still a little fuzzy on what's just happened, what the changes were. That's really what this is. It's just kind of a recap of where we're at, where eCard is today on the MLS system.
We have some
All right?
formal training like